Hi, I'm Ed Walters, the co-founder of Fastcase and Chief Strategy Officer of vLex, and I'm delighted to speak with Colin Levy today as a part of our vLex Innovator Q&A series. Colin, it's great to have you join us. Please start by telling us your story. What's your background? How'd you get to where you are today as the Director of Legal at Malbec?
Well, thanks very much for having me. A pleasure to be here. My journey is an interesting one in that it was unpredictable and a little unforeseen because when I graduated from law school, it took me a year and a half to find my first legal role, but I quickly saw the disconnect between what I was doing and technology's impact upon other industries. And so that prompted me to want to reach out to others to either confirm that A, I was crazy to even be thinking about that, or B, that I actually wasn't crazy and that there are other people thinking about these things as well. As it turns out, I wasn't crazy, at least not in that sense. And so I found other people who were interested in this disconnect and trying to do something about it, whether it was creating products, whether it was teaching about it, whether it was just writing about it, or some combination of any of those things. And as things got going, I started having more of those conversations, started sharing some of my lessons from those conversations. And it kind of just steamrolled from there into this thing where I was just building my own community around me about legal tech. And my passion for it grew in the sense of not just wanting to help people get heard and seen about what they were doing, but also on my part to help educate others about what was happening and inform them and help continue to grow those communities. So that's really been sort of the journey. And it's really just been kind of pretty cool in that I've met a lot of people. I had a book come out last year on legal tech, and I got the job I have with Malbec now as their director of legal and evangelist through a legal tech connection of mine. And I've been with Malbec now a little over 3 years, and it's been wonderful to not just be talking about legal tech, but actually be working in this space and trying to continue to do something innovative and fun in this space. And so it's been a really good journey and one that I am very thankful to have been engaged in. I just wish that I'd gotten to this point earlier in my career, but life happens as it will.
Uh, that is the journey. So, Colin, just I think for people who are working in law firms, sometimes have a hard time imagining what it would be like to work inside of a company. What does the director of legal do at Melback? What consumes your days? What are you working on?
Sure, good question. Every day is a little bit different, which is actually a good thing in my part. Because I am the director of legal, effectively the general counsel, I kind of do whatever is asked of me from the legal side in terms of whether that could be often negotiating deals. Like right now, as it's the end of 2024, and everyone wants to get their deal in before the end of the year. But I also deal with a number of other matters, such as data privacy or marketing efforts or product development efforts, or I need to review some kind of partnership deal or assist with testing out a new function because being a lawyer, I'm kind of part of the target market for Malbec. So they want some input, which I'm not shy about giving. So those are kind of the things that I do. But because I also am evangelist for Malbec, my role also encompasses things like writing blog posts, giving webinars, going on podcasts, speaking at conferences, all things that I very much enjoy doing, have been doing before I joined Malbec. So it's really a diverse array of different things, and every day, every week is a little bit different. And it's just really pretty enjoyable to have such a variety of activities consuming every day that sometimes can be challenging, but also fun.
We're recording this at the end of 2024, and it seems like all anyone can talk about is artificial intelligence. How has AI changed your role at Malbec? And what do you see as some of the most effective use cases for AI in law firms, corporate legal departments, legal operations?
That's a really good question. I wish we had more time because I probably could talk about that very question for an hour and actually have given presentations to law firms about that topic. But the
That's
first
awesome.
part of your
Maybe we can get
question,
CLE credit for this interview.
so with respect to the first part of your question, because I am one who is not shy about trying new things, I am one of a few people at Malbec who is leading the way and helping to educate the team about generative AI, how to use it, how not to use it, what it's good at, what it's not good at, in addition to also assisting with sort of testing out its integration into our products, because that's sort of what is going on right now with Malbec, but also with plenty of other companies. Is it's not replacing what has been done before. It's merely augmenting and making what already exists better, because now there's expanded capabilities and the ability to use data, for example, in ways that you couldn't use it before or could be cumbersome or time consuming. Whether in Malbec's case, it's drafting clauses, reviewing, coming out with new negotiating positions, analyzing trends with contracts, and so forth. I think in terms of use cases for AI, again, it's a little bit of a context specific inquiry, but generally speaking, sort of more data driven, time consuming tasks, whether it's sort of creating something that you have to do over and over again that's time consuming, AI can do. Frankly, you don't even need AI for it sometimes, depending on what needs to happen. But also analyzing large amounts of data, whether it's documents, case law, or contracts. AI is very good at that type of thing because it can take all that data, draw out trends very quickly. And you and I can do it as well, but it would take us 10 times the amount of time and probably wouldn't be as good, frankly. So that is where AI is very helpful. The trick is just understanding that that is what's currently able to be done with AI, and that it just can't do everything for you. It just can't. But it's getting better. But right now, it's really good about dealing with large chunks of data and being able to use it in ways that you and I could do something with, but again, wouldn't be as good and would take a lot more time to do.
Oh, and it seems like these are some things that you might in the past have sent off to outside counsel. Do you think AI is changing the relationship between your legal department and your outside lawyers?
Oh, absolutely. I think what's happening is, and I've worked with a number of different outside firms, is those clients that corporate clients that are a little more tech savvy are starting to ask, how are their outside law firms using generative AI? What are they using it for? How are they using it? Because I think there's a level of transparency that's desired now from law firms in terms of how work is being done, partly because legal work continues to get very much more expensive as billing rates increase, but also because there's a growing awareness of the use of generative AI and what it's capable of. And so I think clients want to have a better understanding of how it's being used. They're not opposed to it's being used. They just want to know how and why, so that they can be a better judge of the work product that they're receiving and have a better sense of where it's coming from and who's doing it.
Do you think corporate legal departments are sending less work over to the outside counsel because they're dealing with some matters in-house now? Or do you think they're still sending the same amount of work to outside legal departments?
It's an interesting question. I think currently it's probably decreasing to some degree, but I also think that because generative AI is not great at some really sort of heavy duty contextual matters that require a high degree of judgment and even some cases emotional intelligence, generative AI can't really help with that. So in that case, the relationship with the outside law firm is what's going to matter more, because it may be less of, well, what's my likelihood of this being successful or not, and more a question of, do we really want to do this, or some other alternative we want to go about doing?
Yeah, it's not like corporate legal departments are purchasing the document from the law firm, right? The product is vastly bigger than the paper.
Right, exactly. And I think that tension has already existed. I think generative AI has put more pressure and added to the tension. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, I think, over the next 6 months, year plus, because I think that as relationship driven as client and counsel has traditionally been, that relationship dynamic is changing now because to some degree there's a desire for generative AI to assist more, and to some degree there's a desire for more human input because there's a degree of skepticism whether generative AI is actually getting the whole sense, getting a holistic sense of exactly what's going on.
So we're recording this at the end of 2024. I think they're like starting to hoist the crystal ball in Times Square already. But if people are watching this in 2025, I just want you to get full credit for the answer when I ask you what your top three predictions are for 2025. And if some of them happen before, before people watch this, I just want to make sure that we're on the record. You're doing this in calendar year 2024.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm not particularly good with predictions, but that being said, I would say number one, with respect to generative AI, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of increases in models that are multimodal, meaning they're able to be doing imagery, audio, and video at the same time, as opposed to what really exists now for the most part, where different tools can do different things, but individually, video, audio, and text. But I think we're going to see a combination of those things going forward, which is exciting because we're getting closer inch by inch to where we're able to talk with one of these tools and it will just do exactly what we ask it to do. I'm not saying we're
By the
going to
way,
see a computer they can talk to right now, but we're slowly getting there, I think, and we'll get there over time, but definitely that'll be something we'll see next year, I think.
I'm not supposed to say this, I think, but it is possible you might see this in Vincent AI sooner rather than later, but you didn't hear it from me. Okay, so that's prediction number one, multimodal.
Right. Prediction number two is, and this goes to something we were talking about just prior to this, is I think that increased tension between outside counsel and clients with respect to how they're using generative AI and more questions being asked and more pressure on transparency about how they're using it because clients are want to get a better sense of how their money is being spent, quite frankly, and if it's actually worth it or not. So I think that's my prediction number two. Number three, I think what's going to happen is, in my view, is we're going to see an increased need on the legal industry to produce lawyers that are more than just lawyers, meaning that they're not just people who get asked a legal question and provide a legal response in sort of an ad hoc way. What they're going to be looking, what the market's really going to be looking for, and we've already seen this through parts of 2024, is lawyers who encompass more than that, but are actual builders of solutions over not just the short term, but the long term in coordination with technology and process improvement, where we're going to see lawyers be more sort of project managers and builders and less of just sort of the traditional lawyer who gets called by a client in emergency and says, hey, I need your help with this. Lawyer says, okay, let me work on it, and done and dusted after a few weeks or a month or however long.
So, what are your personal goals for 2025? What are you working on that you're excited about?
So that's another good question. Well, I'm going to be doing some teaching next year, which I'm excited about. I'll be doing it as an adjunct professor at a law school, announcement to come soon. And I'm excited about that because I'm, again, a very much passionate about education and teaching. So that will be fun. Uh,
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I also am seeking to just continue to be ever more engaged in the community through speaking opportunities and through consulting opportunities to help law firms and legal departments better understand this tech-driven AI world we live in and make it less intimidating for them. That was the purpose of the book I wrote. No, I'm not writing another book anytime soon, at least as far as I'm can say right now. That could change, but I am looking to just be able to be more helpful to the community in an actionable oriented way. So that is another goal. And then lastly, I think just continue to just do what I have been doing, which is interviewing legal leaders, continuing to just promote and educate others about legal tech and really help people understand again that legal tech is about more than just technology. It's about people and process working alongside technology. And it's not just about any individual, any number of one of those things. It's about all of them working together.
Well, Colin, I really appreciate the opportunity to have you on the other side of the microphone. Over the years, you've been so generous in interviewing so many people in law and helping to tell their story. I love hearing your story. I think it's really interesting, and I'm glad that you were willing to share it with us today. We'll keep following your career and excited to see what you do next in legal tech.
Thanks so much. A pleasure to be a part of this.
Thank you.